Good morning, guys, and welcome to another episode of Nigerian Nerd. Today, we're talking about the Assassin's Creed Origins game, which came out about 4.5 years ago. Bear with me. The issue is that I, as many of you know from the title of this channel, happen to live in a third world country. And living in a third world country means that we sort of get access to things that other people around the world get a little later, simply because we're behind economically, we're behind in terms of amenities or infrastructure or whatever. And whenever these things eventually do get to Nigeria, they're too expensive. So it so happens that I'm just getting to the point in my life where I can afford to play Assassin's Creed Origins. It just so happens that it's 4.5 years later. Do you guys forgive me? Yes, you forgive me. Thank you very much. And with that, we're hopping right into Assassin's Creed Origins. What is this game? Assassin's Creed Origins was Ubisoft's attempt at redoing this whole Assassin's Creed formula. I'm saying Assassin's Creed one too many times. However, what Ubisoft did was they had spent maybe the last 10 years of their development cycle churning out pretty much the same product. Assassin's Creed 1 was was a bit different from Assassin's Creed 2 because new mechanics were added. Assassin's Creed 3, same thing, Origins, Black Flag, rinse and repeat. But the thing is that the core gameplay loop got too repetitive, it got too boring. People knew what to expect from an Assassin's Creed game, and the story wasn't riveting enough to pull you and invest you in. I mean, we all know that they are set in modern times and they use the Animus to go back in time to investigate the lives of key and notable figures. Now, how did Ubisoft do? Assassin's Creed has the unique narrative benefit of being set in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt, as in the pyramids, the Great Sphinx, deserts, even parts of ancient Rome and Caesarea and Samaria, and all these different places in Egypt. You play as Bayek of Siwa, who is a Magi. Magi are like the sole and highest protectors of Egypt. They're like modern day superheroes. And no spoiler or no spoiler alert, your son gets killed, and it's a revenge tale. So you're hunting out all those people who you think are responsible for the death of your son while liberating ancient Egypt. You meet Cleopatra, you meet Caesar, you meet all sorts of amazing people, even Brutus, who, spoiler alert, killed Caesar. You meet him in the game. Now, in terms of execution, what do I like? First of all, open world, stunning. You can always tell when the developers of a game are making a game as a labor of love, when they love the content, when they love the story that they're presenting. And it shows. I was riding my camel in Assassin's Creed Origins. I saw the sunrise, or rather the sunset, the while riding in the desert, and I was humbled, genuinely humbled. It was the most beautiful thing I had seen that day. And kudos to them. The world itself, beautiful, it's amazing. It feels lived in because you have all sorts of people moving around as you see in all the other Assassin's Creed games. But now you have wildlife, you have animals that you can hunt. There's lions, there's tigers, there's leopards, there's eagles, there's gazelles, all sorts. And you hunt, you craft, you do all the stuff that you already do in RPGs. And kudos to them, they did a very good job. Now, what didn't I like? It feels like the RPG mechanics were shoehorned to make this game work. They wanted to show everybody that they were willing to travel a different direction with Assassin's Creed, that they just sort of just threw things in and just hope that they would stick. For instance, weapons. They give you pick up weapons as you move along. You can pick up a spear, you can pick up a short sword, you can pick up dual daggers, all sorts of things, and all of them play differently. But there's no real customization to them. They're just new leveled up items that do more damage, that look different and act different. But in terms of you investing time, like in Red Dead Redemption, for instance, you could change the inlays, the metals, you could grease your gun and oil it and make it truly yours, change the colors, maybe give it a golden finish, give it leather covering. Yeah, I mean, you just get your stuff, and that's it. And that pretty much that sucks. It sucks quite a bit. The next gripe I had was that the core gameplay loop just felt too repetitive after a while. You call Senu, which is your eagle, she spots your objectives for you. You go, you sneak, you either sneak or fight, get the objective, and you've completed your mission. It's interesting for like the first 6 to 8 hours, but after that it just becomes too repetitive and it became a bit boring. Overall, guys, I'll give this game. Oh, and the weird. I don't know if it was intentional, but a lot of the female NPCs, non-playable characters in the game, were just walking around topless, and I mean topless like you could see everything. Like you could see everything. And there were like only like 3 or 4 in my entire playthrough, but I saw them from time to time and I just thought maybe it's a glitch that wasn't dealt with. But yeah, that was the weird. Overall, guys, I give this game a solid like 7.5 to 8 over 10. Ubisoft genuinely showed us as gamers why change is good. I used to play games like Modern Warfare. I used to play games like FIFA. I used to play games like surprise, surprise, Assassin's Creed. But once I feel like a game has found a formula that they no longer need to switch, I can stick with it for maybe 3 titles at most. But after a while, you need to change. Now, see God of War, see what they did. See Red Dead Redemption, see how vast the game became. Like, eventually, all major forms of expression needs to be challenged. That's how they grow. That's how they get better. Don't get too comfortable. That's the summary of this. And Ubisoft, kudos to you. You guys are a big company. You've been around since the first generation of video games, and you're doing great. Like, you changed. Change is good. Don't fight everything that comes and decides that it wants to change the way things are being done. Assassin's Creed is an example of that, and it gets a solid 8 from me. Yeah, 8. Biok of Siwa gets an 8. All right. I hope that was below 5 minutes. As usual, like, share, subscribe. I'm owing you guys 4 more videos. Sorry I couldn't get them done before the end of the holidays. This is being recorded on New Year's Day. I love you all and Happy New Year's. Peace.